That's what it looks like when a harmless man dies. But death wasn't the end. It was the initiation. They told you to be a good man, harmless, but no one told you that harmless men get ignored, or worse, destroyed. That's not peace. That's fragility with a filter. Solo leveling doesn't start with a hero. It starts with a liability. A guy so weak, people hoped he wouldn't show up. And then came the collapse, the blood, the death. But death wasn't the end. It was the choice. Rise, suffer, or stay dead. So let me ask you, when your dungeon collapses, what will you become? Because no one's coming to save you when the monsters show up. Whether that's bills, betrayal, burnout, or just waking up one day and realizing you've built nothing. Dangerous men, they don't wait to be chosen. They become the kind of force the world can't ignore. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 things that make any man truly dangerous. Not cruel, not reckless, but undeniably capable. First up, discipline. Not for show, but for control. You say you're in control, but your body says otherwise. You meant to hit the gym, ended up hitting next episode. You said, just one cookie. Then it turned into a small buffet. You were supposed to wake up early, but your bed whispered, what if we didn't? Let's be honest, you don't command your body, you negotiate with it, and it's winning the deal every time. Discipline is the first filter. It's what separates the men who talk about strength from the ones who build it when no one's watching. And I'm not talking about posting your gym selfies with hashtags like hashtag beast mode activated or hashtag grind set alpha deluxe. No, I'm talking about showing up when it's boring, when it's raining, when your muscles scream like you've been drafted into a shonen tournament arc. Because here's the truth. Your body is your first enemy. It craves comfort. It fears effort. It'll trick you into believing you're tired, when really, you're just undisciplined. Jin-Woo didn't become the Shadow Monarch because he was motivated. He wasn't doing vision boards and burning sage. The guy was alone, bleeding, training at 5 a.m. like his life depended on it, because it did. Push-ups, dungeon runs, solo grind. No audience, no applause, just sweat and silence. He didn't need approval. He needed to never be weak again. And you can't even put your phone down in the bathroom. The next time your alarm goes off, don't hit snooze. Hit the floor, literally. Do a push-up, or 10. Watch how fast your brain starts crying for comfort, then ignore it. Just for once. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to win the daily battle against your flesh. Because until your body obeys your mind, you're not dangerous. You're just loud. Comfort is sneaky. It doesn't come at you with fangs and claws. It shows up in sweatpants with pizza and says, bro, you deserve a break. Comfort's the voice that says, you've worked hard. You just answered 2 emails and took a snack break. You need rest. You need results. Let's just chill today. Again, really? Here's the trap. Comfort feels like safety, but really, it's decay in disguise. In psychology, there's a term called hedonic adaptation. It means your brain gets used to pleasure. Like a Netflix algorithm, the more you indulge, the less it satisfies. So you chase more scrolling, more snacking, more sipping, until one day you look around and realize you're not resting, you're rotting. Jin-Woo had the chance to take it easy. After the hospital, they offered him safer dungeons, lower risk, steady pay, a nice life. He could have taken it, but he chose pain. He walked right back into the chaos voluntarily. Stronger monsters, brutal quests. He refused comfort like it was poison, and that's exactly what it was. Comfort would have kept him weak. Instead, he chased the pain that made him stronger. Real life? Same rules. Look, you don't have to sleep in a cave or do ice baths while screaming ancient Norse poetry. But you do have to stop giving comfort the throne, because it will rule your life, and ruin it gently. Start small. Turn your shower cold for 30 seconds. Take the stairs. Delete the food delivery apps you swore were emergencies only. We see you, DoorDash warrior. Make comfort inconvenient, because growth, it's inconvenient by default. Change never happens inside a blanket. You will not evolve in softness. Comfort is not your reward. It's your restraint. Want to become dangerous? Start by becoming uncomfortable on purpose, because the man who seeks discomfort controls everything that scares everyone else. Let's get one thing straight. If you're telling the world your every move, you're not a threat. You're a loudspeaker, and nobody fears a loudspeaker. Every time you post your gym session, your business idea, your 5 a.m. just grindin' selfie, you give the world a preview of what you might become, not what you are. And here's the kicker. You might actually be sabotaging yourself without even knowing it. A Harvard study found that just talking about your goals gives your brain a dopamine hit, the same reward system triggered by cake, TikTok, or unlocking a loot box. Telling people your dreams feels like progress, but your brain starts to think you already did the work. You talk about your dream gym routine, and your brain throws you a dopamine party before you lift a single weight. So you get comfy, you feel good, and then you stop moving. That's why you keep talking. That's why you stop doing. You want to be feared? Be unreadable, because mystery is power. And silence is strategy. By season 2, Jin-Woo doesn't explain anything. He just walks in, silent, still, shadows swirling behind him, like something ancient woke up and chose violence. When soldiers panic, he says nothing. When enemies scream, he blinks. And that silence, it's terrifying, because no one knows what he's thinking. Only that when he does move, something's about to die. You ever notice the loudest guy in the room is usually the weakest? Always talking about what he's gonna do, making sure you know he's working on something. Cool, bro. Let us know how that vision board's going. Meanwhile, the guy who's really building, you didn't hear from him for 3 months. Then he shows up with a six-pack, fluent Mandarin, and a passive income empire built in his mom's basement. Be that guy. Stop narrating your ambition like it's a movie trailer. Delete "coming soon" from your vocabulary. Build privately. Let your results walk in first. The most dangerous man in any room is the one no one saw coming. You don't need applause. You need shadows, because shadows don't just hide you, they amplify you. There comes a point in every man's life when the noise just stops working. The motivational YouTube clips don't hit. The gym hype fades. Even the praise feels empty. And that's when most guys panic. They think something's wrong. They think they're broken. But what if I told you that silence you're afraid of, that stillness, it's not the end of your momentum. It's the beginning of your mastery. Psychologists call it voluntary solitude. And it's one of the most powerful tools for building identity, toughness, and internal order. A 2022 study in the Journal of Personality found that short periods of intentional isolation improved clarity, confidence, and goal alignment, but only if it was chosen. Not loneliness, solitude. So yeah, being alone sucks at first, but lean into it long enough and it starts to sharpen you. Jin-Woo didn't level up surrounded by friends and cheerleaders. He disappeared. Solo dungeons, empty streets, silent rooftops. While the world kept turning, he trained, he healed, he transformed. And when he finally returned, no one recognized him. Not because he was hiding, but because he became someone unrecognizable. Isolation isn't exile, it's incubation. Turn off your phone for a week. Go ghost on socials. Wake up early and don't tell anyone. Read books no one recommends. Spend a Saturday with your own thoughts instead of watching someone else's vlog. At first, it'll feel weird. Then it'll feel powerful. Then it'll feel like this secret edge you didn't know you needed. You're not falling behind. You're becoming someone no one saw coming. You don't become dangerous by being seen. You become dangerous by vanishing and returning with something no one can fake. Stillness, conviction, aura. So, disappear for a while. Go to war with your weaknesses. And when you come back, don't explain a damn thing. Look, there's no point in having a disciplined body if your mind is still a chaotic mess. Because the truth is, most battles aren't physical. They're internal. And your thoughts, they lie to you. They sabotage you. They convince you to quit 5 minutes before your breakthrough. The body screams, "I'm tired." The mind whispers, "Why are we even doing this?" If you don't take control of that voice, it will run your life. There's a reason elite athletes, Navy SEALs, and even billionaires swear by mental training, visualization, journaling, meditation, not trendy hacks, psychological weapons. A study in Frontiers in Psychology found that just 10 minutes of mindfulness a day reduced stress, boosted memory, and increased emotional regulation. In other words, you don't freak out when life sucker punches you. But here's the real test. Can you stay calm when everything's falling apart? Can you choose patience over panic, stillness over spiraling? That's what makes a man dangerous. There's a scene where Jin-Woo stands on a rooftop. No sword, no fight, just watching, breathing, still. In that moment, he wasn't reacting. He wasn't triggered. He was calculating. That's the shift from flinching to focusing, from reacting to responding. He didn't just conquer dungeons, he conquered himself. You don't need incense and monk robes, just one thing. Sit still for 10 minutes. No music, no phone, no stimulation, just your breath, your thoughts, and the uncomfortable silence between them. It feels weird. Then it'll feel revealing. Then it'll feel like armor. Because the man who controls his mind can't be manipulated by anyone else. Strength can be stolen. Money can vanish. Even reputation fades. But if your mind is forged in stillness, you become untouchable. That's the final form of a dangerous man. A man who doesn't flinch. Not when insulted, not when abandoned, not when everything's on fire. And he's the only one left standing because he knows, if I still have my mind, I still have the battlefield. Discipline your flesh. Despise comfort. Move in silence. Disappear to evolve. And master the war in your head. That's how a man becomes dangerous. Not loud, not reckless, but undeniably capable. And when that kind of man walks into a room, he doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to prove anything. The room adjusts to him. So stop trying to be liked. Start becoming respected. Stop performing. Start becoming. Because in the end, they don't bow to noise. They bow to presence.